how education and information help people stand tall despite concerted efforts to make them small. Welcome to Empowering Voices. I'm Renee James Gilmore. Teaching Black history using art and poetry on a calendar just seems natural if the intent is to reflect the lives and legacies of descendants of the African diaspora. Jahkori Dopwell Hall designs calendars that double as teaching tools. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
All right, glad to have you here. So, I know that when you create art, you can do so much with a few words because the images help speak to you. Tell us about your calendar and how it's laid out such that it speaks to readers.
Thank you. So the Black History Year calendar is pretty much my senior thesis assignment. That's what it started out as in 2022, and it has grown into a yearly phenomenon, and it's on its 5th annual edition. And what I do that makes my calendar so special is I do original art, original poetry, and I do Black history facts for every day of the year.
Okay, that's pretty special. Now, I note that, because I've been looking at your calendar since number 1, so I noticed that on all your calendars, family is always centered someplace. That's important to you. Why?
Yes, family is so important, especially the Black family and our legacy. And in this calendar this year, the theme is red, because we are doing shared blood, shared story, bloodlines of resistance. And that's the theme of this year's calendar, because we have a shared story to tell in our history.
And can you tell me a little bit about that shared blood that you want to, again, communicate and inform people about?
Yes. So our family tells our story, our lineage from way back in the African times when we had our African kingdoms and our kings and queens. We have to remind ourselves that we were kings and queens, and that's one of the things I do with my calendar. I empower and uplift the Black experience.
Jahkori, you also educate students about history, and you seem to have a way of weaving in Black history as part of American history and anything that you're talking about. How do you manage to do that so well?
So I tell my students all the time that Black history is your history. So it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter who your relatives are. It doesn't matter who your friends are. You need to know these people and you need to know these stories because they make up what you're living today. So I teach my students about Ruby Bridges and how she walked that walk to school and how she paved the way for them to be able to be in the classroom today. So just different ways that I explore those and I express those in the classroom. And I even display my artwork in the classroom as well. So it pushes them to ask those questions.
Just give us a quick minute on Ruby Bridges for people who may not be as familiar with her as others.
Yes, so Ruby Bridges was the first African-American child to desegregate the all-white public school, William Frantz Elementary School.
And it was not easy.
It was not easy. She was the only one in the classroom. But she went and she did what she had to do to set that path for them.
All right. You also have an image of a man who has a very large natural or afro. Everybody likes to talk about Black hair, so tell us about your imagery for Black hair and why it's front and center and as part of the calendar.
Yes, so when we talk about Black hair, a lot of time there's a stigma behind it. People don't like the coils and the kinks, but I use that as a way to show our hair is beauty. And in my calendar, I do something where I call April Afro April. So I always do a piece that's inspiring with the Afro involved. So this is a model. His name is Ahmed, and this is him with his full Afro out and a nice green background because it's growing. So the green is theme for growing.
Okay, and his hair is long enough that it qualifies. Back in my day, we would say call it a bush because it is so huge, right? Just a beautiful, beautiful head of healthy hair. Okay, you also have this calendar. You've got a picture where there are like two faces. One is blue. They seem to be mirror images. One is blue, one is red. What does that represent?
So the title of this piece is called The Face of Juneteenth. Now, a lot of times in my calendars, I try to personify something that the usual person wouldn't think of. So I decided in this calendar I was going to personify the Juneteenth flag. And the colors of the Juneteenth flag, you have the reds, you have the blues, and then you have the star that's right in the middle. And for this personified Juneteenth flag, I decided to do a Rastafarian. And he has that red, he has that blue, and it's like that star right in the middle that connects both.
Beautiful. Now you have something that you've specially created as we move from Black History Month, the month of February, into Women's History Month, the month of March. You've created something beautiful we have here of Madam C.J. Walker. Tell us about Madam C.J. Walker.
Yes, Madam C.J. Walker was the pioneer, self-made, amazing, one-of-a-kind hair care extraordinaire. And I created this piece in about one day. I just was inspired when I heard that you were doing a story on Madam C.J. Walker, and I was like, I have to do this piece. So I pushed myself, and I really wanted to capture her essence in the piece. I wanted to capture her hair tin, where she has her product in, captured the words and everything, and just the essence of that and the way that she held that legacy, and I put it right here.
Well, the hair is definitely the crown and glory, and so back to Madam C.J. Walker's days in the 1800s, people worried about their hair, wanted it to indeed reflect the inner beauty that people have as well. So congratulations on doing that. Jahkori, this is absolutely beautiful. Tell me, you have something coming up soon with some of your students. You also are a playwright in that sense. What do you have coming up?
So our school is doing The Lion King in April, but we recently did our Divine Nine Black History celebration, and we were able to teach the students about all the different fraternities and sororities that paved the way for the Divine Nine. And a lot of students were interested in going into those fields when they got older, and that was the goal with that.
All right. For people who may not know the Divine Nine and how they came about, since you are a history teacher and a history lover, if you could just let us know, tell us a little bit about the Divine Nine, it stands for, and who these members are.
So the Divine Nine is a group of historically Black fraternities and sororities that make up the National Pan-Hellenic Council. And that is comprised of the Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity, the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, and others among the Divine Nine. And they call it the Divine Nine because it is comprised of those 5 fraternities and 4 sororities.
All right. Jahkori, thank you for continuing to educate us, and be well.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate you.
To order a calendar or connect with Jahkori, go online to JAHKORIDOPWELL hall.org.